What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Today I'm going to be showing off what I have found to be the best way to play the powerful new Vikavolt V from our upcoming trading card game set Darkness Ablaze, due out August 14th. Vikavolt V is an extremely frustrating card to have to play against because of its paralyzing bolt attack. For a lightning and a colorless, it deals 50 damage and makes it so the opponent cannot play any item cards from their hand during their next turn. This can be used as early as the first turn of the game with the help of cards like Tapu Koko Prism Star, as well as the new Turbo patch also released with Darkness Ablaze. To boost our damage output, we also play Galarian Slowbro V in the deck with its Quick Draw Poison ability, which leaves the defending Pokemon poisoned if Galarian Slowbro V is in the active position. So we're going to be using Galarian Slowbro V to pivot in and out of the active position, and also the new Team Yellowhorn, also released in Darkness Ablaze, to inflict confusion while Galarian Slowbro is in the active position. So we can confuse the defending Pokemon, poison the defending Pokemon, and item lock our opponent all in one turn very easily with this powerful new Vikavolt deck. I'm excited to show off the list, but before I do, let's check out the Darkness Ablaze singles, which are now available for pre-order on FullGripGames.com. If you're trying to get your hands on the best new cards from Darkness Ablaze, look no further than FullGripGames.com. We're pre-ordering singles from the set now. Supporting the shop at Full Grip Games directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. If you would like a build and battle kit, we're also selling those. They ship out as early as August 1st, so you can do a pre-release at home activity. If you got extra cards lying around the house and you want to get some cash for them, make sure to check out Full Grip Games buy list. We are always buying bulk singles, you name it, here at the shop. I've got a very easy to follow how-to video on the website, and it's really appreciated. So thank you guys all so much for shopping at Full Grip Games. Let's check out the deck list. Let's start out by taking a look at the Pokemon that make up this powerful new Lightning type deck. We play 4 copies of Vikavolt V, who's the main attacker in the deck, and I don't think you really need any other alternative attackers. You could play Boltund V, but I found that really you want to just keep that paralyzing bolt item lock throughout the entire game, and breaking it gives your opponent opportunities to play some of the better cards in their deck. So you want to keep that paralyzing bolt item lock going until the very end of the game, when you could just super zap cannon for 190 damage, and 190 damage is very respectable, especially when you put poison into the equation as well. So I found instead of playing Boltund V, you can really afford to just paralyzing bolt, build up to a super zap cannon, discarding 2 energy, then you go down to 1, and then if your opponent doesn't respond to the Vikavolt after that, you just attach another energy and you're back to the paralyzing bolt. So that kind of back and forth between paralyzing bolt and super zap cannon is very effective, and the damage output on super zap cannon is very good to one-hit KO things at the end of the game, especially knocking out cards like Crobat V and Dedenne GX for a game-winning play. We also play 3 copies of Galarian Slowbro V because it's the best starter in your deck. The Quick Draw Poison ability is awesome to just get damage counters on the defending Pokemon as soon as possible. Then once you go in with paralyzing bolt, having a Galarian Slowbro V on the bench means you always have a nice pivot when you play a switch card or a bird keeper or something like that. Go into the Galarian Slowbro V. Galarian Slowbro is an awesome card to have in the active position when you use the Team Yellowhorn to inflict confusion as well, because you could just confuse the Slowbro and then come right back into your Vikavolt V. Confusion and poison put together with item lock is a really gnarly combo for your opponent to try and play out of. We're playing 3 copies of Galarian Slowbro. You could cut to 2 copies of the card, but with only 4 Quick Ball in the deck as our Pokemon search, I found playing 3 copies of Galarian Slowbro just gets it into the active position earlier and more consistent than playing 2. We also played 2 copies of Dedenne GX and 1 Crobat V. Having that explosive draw is very good for the first turn of the game, especially if you're going second, so that you can try to get a turn 1 paralyzing bolt by getting some energy into the discard pile, and then either using Tapu Koko Prism Star or the Turbo patch from Darkness Ablaze. Dedenne Change is preferred over Crobat V since it gets the lightning energy into the discard pile that we can then later accelerate, and also just helps you dig deeper into your deck if you've got a hand that you can't necessarily play cards out of. Crobat V is awesome in combination with Dedenne GX because it can allow you to see a much bigger hand, especially early on. You can Night Asset into a Data Change or Data Change into a Night Asset, then play a supporter. So it gives you some very explosive turns, especially early on in the game. Once you've established the item lock, you're not going to need to really draw through a crazy amount of cards, which is why we play cards like Marnie and Birdkeeper in this deck, because you're going to have resources in your hand like switches and yell horns that you don't want to use or discard. So it'll all make more sense when we take a look at the supporter count in the deck. Taking a look at the supporters, you can see I only play 3 copies of Professor's Research in the deck, which is kind of unusual. It's the best draw supporter in the game right now, but with a deck like this that has so many good cards like Crushing Hammer, Team Yellhorn, Switch that you don't want to discard, playing more methodical supporters like Birdkeeper and Marnie has proved to be very effective. Of course, there are some hands where you just want to discard it and see 7 new cards, so we still play 3 copies of Professor's Research, but I found that this deck really utilizes Birdkeeper very well, which is something that I'm very excited about because Birdkeeper is a cool new supporter card out of Darkness Ablaze. It allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, then draw 3 cards. So we have 3 Birdkeepers, which are all switch cards, as well as a Mallow and Lana, which of course can heal your active Pokemon 120 damage, and then you switch a card on your bench with that active Pokemon that you healed. So we have 4 supporter cards that all switch, as well as 4 actual copies of the item card switch in the deck, as well as some Dark Cities, which give our Galarian Slowbros free retreat. So there's plenty of switch outs to get you in and out of the active position. It's really sad that Zeraora GX ends up rotating because Zeraora GX would be amazing in this deck to give your Vikavolt V's free retreat, so you could just use the Team Yellhorn, inflict confusion, and then retreat for free into another Vikavolt V or something like that. But without Zeraora GX in the upcoming standard format, cards like Birdkeeper, Mallow and Lana, Switch, and the Dark City Stadium can keep your deck moving fluidly throughout the game, especially when you're using Team Yellhorn to inflict confusion. And even though Team Yellhorn inflicts confusion on both active Pokemon, you're going to be able to break that confusion so much easier than your opponent because you're the one item locking them. We also play 4 copies of Boss's Orders in the deck since we only do a base 50 damage with the Paralyzing Bolt attack. You really want to make sure that you are attacking exactly what you want to be attacking every turn, and 4 copies of Boss's Orders means that it's very easy to strand targets on your opponent's bench into the active position, especially Pokemon with hefty retreat costs like Zacian or ADP that don't have any energy on them. You can just bring them up into the active position with Boss's Orders and confuse them with Yellhorn, go in, Paralyzing Bolt, and just really take control of the match. So I do like the high count of Boss's Orders. 3 copies of Marnie is extremely good as well, just giving your opponent a lower hand size. You could play a copy of Eldegoss V in the deck if you want to bring any of these cards back from the discard pile, but I found just playing a high count of the supporters that you want to see is also effective. As you can see, taking a look at the item cards here, there is a lot of stuff in this deck that'll make your friends not really want to play against you. 4 copies of Yellhorn, 4 copies of Turbo Patch, 4 copies of Crushing Hammer in the deck. So you can not only confuse and item lock and poison your opponent, you can also remove their energy with Crushing Hammer, which just creates a very chaotic deck to play against for your opponent. And the 4 Crushing Hammers are absolutely awesome, denying your opponent the energy that they need to attack while they're also confused and just slowly melting away with poison creates a devastating board position for your opponent. So I really love the Yellhorns and the Crushing Hammers in the deck. The Turbo Patches help you to get that quick paralyzing bolts that you want. The 3 copies of Dark City are very good against every deck except for like Eternatus VMAX. So if you're playing against Eternatus VMAX, you don't want to put your Dark Cities down to give them free retreat. You just want to rely on your switches and your Birdkeepers and your Mallow and Lana, and that is still plenty of switch outs for your deck. But against every deck that doesn't have basic dark Pokemon, not counting like Crobat V, you're not going to try and strand a Crobat V in the active anyway, considering it's only got a retreat of 1. Against every other deck, playing down the Dark City gives your Slowbros and your own Crobat V nice free retreat, which can allow you to really take advantage of the Yellhorn. And I cannot express enough how this is just the best card in the deck. If you played back during Furious Fist with Seismitoad EX, it played 4 copies of Hypnotoxic Laser. Yellhorn is the closest thing to Hypnotoxic Laser that we have in standard format. Hypnotoxic Laser, if you haven't played, back then, it was an item card that inflict automatic poison, and you flipped a coin. If heads, they were also asleep. So with Seismitoad EX's item lock, it could keep them asleep between turns, and you're poisoning them. And then Quaking Punch, the item lock attack, only did 30 damage. We're doing 50 with Paralyzing Bolt. The poison also racks up between turns, and the confusion makes it so that your opponent can actually deal even more damage to themselves if they try to attack you through confusion, which can really help to ramp up your Vikavolt's damage output. So the Yellhorns I've been a huge fan of since we put those in the deck. The 4 Crushing Hammers, also awesome. You could play some copies of Team Yell Grunt, a supporter card to help bounce energies back to your opponent's hand as well. I certainly think that that would be a valid inclusion in the deck. Finally, taking a look at the energy, you can see we play 4 copies of Speed Lightning Energy and 8 Basic Lightning Energy. And we play so many Basic Lightning Energy because you have to get them into the discard pile early in order to accelerate them into play with Turbo Patch or Tapu Koko Prism Star. So if you only play 6 or 7 Lightning Energy, there's that chance that you don't see them early and you're discarding cards like Turbo Patch when you could have had a Lightning Energy in the discard pile that either you data changed away or you got rid of with a Professor's Research or a Quick Ball. Speed Lightning Energy is awesome in the deck, obviously, just giving you 2 extra cards when you play a Speed Lightning Energy from your hand to a Lightning type Pokemon. And it really combos well with cards like Bird Keeper because you can get a draw of 5 off of those Bird Keeper turns. If you Speed Lightning Energy Bird Keeper, you're just drawing 5 cards from the deck, which could be very good for a control-oriented deck like this that wants to, like I said, keep all of those good cards in its hand and then wait for the right moment to play them, wait for the right moment to strike, play your Crushing Hammers, play your Yellhorns, and so on and so forth. And that's it for the deck profile. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, and if you have not already, make sure to check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday. We've got a really cool welcoming community over there, and we'd love to have you on board. So make sure to check out the Twitch stream and drop me a follow, twitch.tv/TrickyJim. Also, make sure to check out FullGripGames.com for all of your trading card game singles. We've got pre-orders available now for Darkness Ablaze. Thank you all so much for watching and have a great day. Peace.